Bloody Hell, 2020, is a horror thriller film that follows the story of a man named Rex, who after a bank heist gone wrong, becomes a media sensation. He travels to Finland but is abducted by a group of deranged individuals. Rex must fight for his life and sanity.
Unleash the thrill with Recap Unleash. Lightning-fast movie recaps that inform and entertain in a flash. Subscribe now and experience the magic of movies in a heartbeat.
At the beginning of the film, a young girl named Alia is running from several men in the forest. It turns out that the men who are chasing Alia are actually members of her own family. She then plunges into the lake, but the men manage to catch her before she drowns. Next, the scene moves to a bank. A man named Rex is waiting in line. He's there to see Maddie, his crush. While Rex is talking to her, their place is suddenly attacked by robbers who instantly killed a security guard at the bank. As a result, the situation becomes tense. Rex then notices a gun in a woman's bag, but the woman can't do anything because it is too risky for her to act in such a dangerous situation. When everyone is under threat, Rex suddenly behaves strangely, but he tries to hold his emotions not to act rashly. But something unexpected happens, where the woman's bag containing the gun is suddenly thrown and lands right on Rex's lap. The scene then moves to a courtroom. Rex is sued by the judge for slaughtering all of the robbers at the bank earlier. Despite the fact that he saved many lives during that incident and is considered as a hero, but he's still sentenced to 8 years in prison. 8 years later, Rex is released from prison and he is staring at a magazine that has a picture of his own face. He is still considered as a hero because of his heroic acts 8 years ago. People look up to him as a hero and reporters taking his pictures. This makes Rex feels uncomfortable, and soon his own consciousness comes into play in the physical realm. As we can see, his alter ego is more emotional nature than himself. Soon Rex gets irritated by their presence, gets to his feet, and throws his desk at the entire group. But in reality, it is all just his imagination acting as a release for his emotions due to his current stress. Although Rex is widely regarded as a hero, there are some people who regard him as a psycho twat. Rex then goes to see his friend and says that he is fed up with his life because many people are drawn to him. As a result, he finally decides to leave his current city and move to Finland. The reason Rex wants to go to Finland is very rational because when he was in prison, he shot a spitball and it landed right in Finland. Next, the scene moves to a forest which shows a man running from the pursuit of several people. The people who are chasing the man look like the people chasing the girl in the beginning of the film. Back to Rex, he is now already at the airport, and as usual, there's a guy filming Rex. Rex also notices that there's a husband and wife who are keeping an eye on him. When things start to get noisy again and people start filming him, he becomes more annoyed. He eventually goes to the restroom. However, it appears that the couple's husband is already in the toilet and is staring at Rex while he is peeing in the bathroom. And when Rex returns to his seat, the strange couple's wife gives him a creepy smile. Upon arriving in Finland, Rex waited for a taxi. A watchful taxi driver quickly pulled up in front of him. Once inside, Rex fell unconscious as the driver released anesthetic gas. In the house, a family is seen preparing dinner and they kidnap Rex and tie in the basement of their house. At this moment, Rex's hands are tied and one of his legs has been amputated. Rex, who has just realized, tries to scream but is stopped. Rex's conscience comes into play, and he tells him to keep his mouth shut. After that, he represents Rex to release his emotions by screaming about what has happened to him. In fact, his conscience appears to be smarter and more sadistic than he is, and it plays a significant role in both Rex's life. He can also analyze the situation of any incident that occurs to Rex, and the one that is currently taking place. After completing the observation, his conscience concludes that the perpetrators of the incident that happens to him now are the strange husband and wife couple from the airport. When Rex is crying with his condition, his conscience can't stand it and starts thinking of ways to get out of there. His conscience has a better plan for ensuring his survival. Rex is then asked to pretend to be unconscious when his perpetrator comes in. Furthermore, after noticing lots of bicycles around him, the alter ego assumes that the perpetrators who kidnapped him are a family. Meanwhile, all of the family members have already gone to sleep on the upstairs. But the youngest child in the family, named Olavi, is not yet asleep and is curious about their victim. Rex tries to loosen the tied rope with his teeth. The young boy, on the other hand, decides to go down to the basement, where Rex has been held. The young boy enters the room on the ground. Rex immediately pretends to be unconscious. Rex realizes that the person who came is just a child. So he tries to persuade Olavi, before kicking him in the face with his amputated leg and flanking him with his both thighs. Not long after, his sister realizes that her little brother is not in bed, so she decides to look for him in the basement. It turns out that this woman's name is Alia, and she is the young girl who has tried to run away from several men at the beginning of the movie. Rex threatens to break the boy's neck if Alia attempts to kill him. But Rex accidentally let go of Olavi, which makes him lose his guarantee to get out of there. When Olavi is found unconscious in the room, the psychopath family rushes him to the hospital. The mother then slaps Alia because she thinks that Alia has hurt her little brother. Alia has a different nature than her family, and that could be a great opportunity for Rex to get out of there. The opportunity is bolstered when Alia suddenly smiles and imagines herself married to Rex. She is attracted to Rex at first sight. Since her family is in the hospital, Alia immediately goes downstairs to see Rex and treats his leg. Alia then expresses her feelings to Rex. Then she begins to tell Rex the story of how her family would kidnap people and make them as food for her eldest brother. Since the birth of her first brother, he has been suffering from a disorder that causes him to crave and eat the human flesh. And Alia disagreed with her family. And she had tried many times to run away from her family. But they were always able to track Alia down until they imprisoned her in a wooden cage built by her father. After telling the story, Alia begins to feel sorry for Rex and leaves the knife on the floor. She asks Rex to take the knife himself. When Rex manages to get it and tries to cut the rope, Alia's three brothers suddenly appear and intend to execute Rex right away. Rex then immediately pretends to be unconscious, and his plan is successful because the brothers cancel their intention. Meanwhile, his personal conscience looks very angry and really wants to end their lives. They notice Rex's leg, which has already been bandaged by Alia, so they immediately look for Alia in her room. But Alia turns out to be hiding in the basement, and suddenly her brother comes back there and takes her upstairs. Next, Rex is injected with some liquid, which causes him to suddenly laugh. We are then transported back to 8 years ago when Rex fought the robbers at the bank. We finally get to see how brutal Rex was when he slaughtered all of the robbers there. It is seen that his conscience was controlling him at that time, and with such a brutality, he managed to become a hero to all of the visitors there. Finally, when Rex tried to save his lover, the robber is frightened by the fact that Rex didn't care who's gonna die there. After Maddie was released, Rex, influenced by his own ego, then shot the robber, and the robber's weapon accidentally fired into a cupboard. Unfortunate thing happened when a bank employee who was hiding inside the cupboard died due to the fired gun. So this is the reason why Rex was sentenced to 8 years in prison, for allegedly sacrificing other people's lives to satisfy his desires. Since Rex's sentence is too long, Maddie, who had been saved by him, decided to end their relationship back in the basement. He notices that they are trying to cut his other leg too. He then kicks the psychopath, which causes the psycho to rush off to get an anesthetic. while Rex tries to cut the rope off his tied hands with the knife from Alia. When the man returns to him, Rex quickly stabs the knife into his ear canal. Without wasting any time, Rex is now looking for some tools and weapons needed to escape from there. Fortunately, he finds some tools that will help him in the next scene. Rex tries his best to get to the top floor, relying on the golf club he has attached to his leg. After he manages to get out of the basement, his conscience tells him to bring Alia out of the house as well. Rex then walks out of the house and he thinks about the words of his conscience again. It looks like they have made a decision about what they will do next after this. When both parents came home from the hospital, they were shocked by the bloodstains in front of their house. At this moment, it turns out that their child is still asleep. Their parents gather them and scold them for letting Rex escape. Fearing that Rex would come back with the police, they plan to move out of the house. But it looks like their plan will fail. It turns out that Rex has been waiting for them under the table, and he kills them one by one using a nail gun. As Rex tries to shoot the mother, the nail bullets run out, and he kicks the mother in the head with a golf club attached to the amputated leg. When her son sees the incident, he tries to attack Rex, but Rex quickly throws a knife into his body, causing him to die. Alia then kills her own mother, who has just woken up from unconsciousness. After all of this horrific incident, it turns out that they are still not free because they still have to face Alia's eldest cannibal brother. Her brother eventually appears, going down the stairs with his big body like a monster. In the end, Rex and the cannibal fight each other, and when Rex manages to cling to the refrigerator door, he sees that there is a piece of his right leg inside. He looks happy because it turns out that his right leg still hasn't been eaten by the cannibal. He then takes his right leg and immediately thrusts it into the cannibal's mouth. After it is all over, Rex takes Alia back to America, where they decide to live together there. One night, Rex and Alia are seen hanging out at a place with their friends. One of their friends seems interested in Rex, which makes Alia jealous. At this moment, it turns out that Alia also has the same alter ego as Rex. She imagines killing the woman who makes her jealous. Meanwhile, in another place, the youngest child from Alia's family who has recovered from the injury intends to avenge the death of his family. And with that, the film ends.